in this case, we're doing problem 10B, also from your fill in the blank worksheet you got in class. So in this one, we are going to, we have a customer paying an invoice with a check. Accounts receivable is updated to reflect the payment, and the check is recorded and deposited into the bank. So once again, with the data flow diagram, we are focusing on everything coming into the process and leaving the process, not a lot of who does what within that process. So we are not worrying about who is updating accounts receivable, or as far as when thinking about our data destinations, or who is taking the deposit from at the bank. So we got to keep this at a pretty high level. So first of all, when doing the context diagram, I look at usually what goes in that main circle. What are we trying to describe with this data flow diagram? In this case, now these answers are directly from the book. I'm going to tell you a correction, but I really couldn't correct the screen. So I disagree with what they have as the answer completely here. So in this case, remember we want to keep our circles as a verb. So we would probably want to make this process cash receipts, prepare cash receipts. Process is probably a little bit better there, but we would probably want to put a verb there. Now we can see that incoming, we have customer, and what is a customer giving us with preparing the cash, processing the cash receipts? Of course, they're giving us the payment or of some kind. It could be a check or cash, but we could just say generically a payment. And then we see that the only thing coming out of this, according to the directions that were given, is a deposit going to the bank. So we already have our bank there, so let's go ahead and there's our deposit. All right, so now if we look at our level 0, we can see that we're breaking down this process cash receipts into 3 things. So we're recording the cash receipts, then we have a process that's going to accounts receivable, and then we have the deposit. So let's start with our data sources and destinations. So we can see that we already have our data source is a customer, and we know our data destination from up above. We have a bank, and we can see this would go here, and that makes sense because of the deposit. So we'll fill this in with bank. Now that leaves what else we have here. So first of all, we want our 2.0 here, and this will probably be a 3.0. But so looking at what's coming in, the payment data gets sent in, and we have a data store going out with accounts receivable. And more likely, we probably should have a double-sided arrow there. So this would be 2.0, something like an update accounts receivable or record the customer payment. Either one would be perfectly fine. I could have several people who've done data flow diagrams before come in and do, a simple exercise like this, and they would all have slightly different nuances. Said I would more likely put update accounts receivable, but record customer payment into the accounts receivable would be perfectly fine. It both means the same thing. Now here we have the payment. So this is the actual payment versus just the data. So this is some memo or remittance data that says we received customer XYZ's payment of $100, where this is the actual $100, and we're taking this to the bank. So this would be something like prepare deposit, create deposit slip, things like that. So we're going to actually call it prepare deposit. All right, so that actually is our answers for this session. This should help you get started with trying to draw your data flow diagram from scratch. And of course, let me know if we have any questions. We will hopefully see you tomorrow Friday for our project work day. With that, stay safe and have a great day.